Hello and welcome back to 911 Scales. My name is Michael and today, for the first time ever, and surely not the last time, we are looking at the massive 112 scale Porsche model car and pretty much the best one which is out there, the incredible 919 Hybrid Evolution. That very car which in 2018 lapped the Nürburgring Nordschleife in quite an impressive manner. Here are my favorite bits of that lap. For you who've tuned in for the very first time, thank you very much for doing so. I'm very happy that you're interested in my channel. If you're interested in Porsche model car reviews like this and feel that the information is helping you with your next Porsche model car purchase, please make sure to hit that subscribe button here down below. Usually with this model car reviews we'll take an up close look through my macro lens in 4K resolution, but I feel with a huge scale like this maybe is not necessary. Anyway, we're also talking about the real car and how the model came together. And in the end I also rate my models always in price, quality, details, rarity and significance. So this incredible 919 Evolution, what is it if you haven't already heard about it? As I told you in my 99X review, which by the way link is down in the description below, Porsche decided after their hat-trick at Le Mans, after their third victory at the 24 Hours of Le Mans race, they decided to take their 919 Hybrid racer around the world on a tribute tour and hunt the fastest track records out there. But they did not simply took the race car around the world. Oh no, they took it a bit further. They took it to the next level. They took everything off the car which held its performance back due to the WAC racing regulations. And pretty much as a normal person, everything you need to know about this 919 Evolution, the stats of kilograms and weight. This thing weighs only 849 kilograms, so only half what your average car is weighing, and it pushes an incredible amount of 1160 horsepower of its combustion and electric engines, pretty much 5 to 6 times what your average car is pushing. The result is that this one here is faster than a Formula 1 racer and pretty much faster than anything else which has ever lapped the track. And the most astonishing lap of their tribute tour was obviously the Nürburgring Nordschleife done by Timo Bernhard. I already showed you some footage, but here have some more. And the time of that lap is as astounding as it is to look. An incredible 5 minutes 19 seconds. And by that beating the old record set by Stefan Bellof all the way back in 1983, which he set in a Porsche 956C. He set that record in the 1000 kilometer race of the Nürburgring, and that record stood for 35 years. But anyway, for real model car nuts, that information is obviously not important, so let's talk about this 112 model car here. Like all 112, Spark did this one for Porsche and it is limited to 300 pieces. And if you're thinking, oh, that's a low number, I'm not so sure about that. You have to consider that this one costed originally 800 euros, an incredible amount of money for a model car. And for that price, I think the number is actually quite high. Also, they gave us a 143 scale and a 118 scale model of this amazing race car. And like the smaller two, this one also is completely closed. There are no parts which you can open, which on this particular case isn't a bad thing because most of the details are on the outside of the car to enjoy. So let me grab the camera, let's get up close and I show you all of them. So since this model is so damn big, I have to use my standard lens to show you the model overall. And then for the details I grab my macro lens. Starting at the front, here you can see one of the most noticeable differences to the actual Le Mans racer. Since this one does not need to race at night, they deleted the headlights here at the front to save some additional weight. Also, they closed the big cutouts over the front tires to enhance the downforce. The race car here, where the 70th anniversary logo is, here it is a complete cutout to help the car not to fly off the track if air gets under it, but here they closed them up to have additional downforce. Otherwise, the front part of the car stayed pretty much the same, with the huge carbon rear splitter and side blades, and they also kept the livery in red, black, white and grey. In the red stripe this car carries, I think these are all the names of the people who worked on the project, but I'm not 100% sure, haven't found the exact confirmation about that. If you have a source to confirm that, please feel free and comment it down below in the description. And then look at all that aero in the middle of the car, it just looks so incredibly outrageous. Looks like the car is divided into two parts. Just an incredible look. At the sides you can first of all see just how low the car sits to the ground with these carbon side blades. Pretty much sucks itself onto the tarmac. The two tires are just massive and look extremely nicely done. I'll show you them just in a second up close. Further down, the Intelligence Performance logo here, and then the cockpit. This is where I have to criticize the model car a bit, but it's not only a fault of the model car, it's more or less of the real car itself. Since everything is black in there and the cockpit is very closed up, it is pretty much impossible to show you anything here in the video or to make pictures, and it's even extremely hard to see anything with your naked eye. Then all the way on top we have the antennas here and this little air intake with the Mobile One logo. And then one of the most striking features of this car, it's this huge blade for the stability and this huge Porsche 919 Tribute logo. And also the side plates of the Evolution specific rear wing here look also very nice and are just massive. And then the rear here, the model and the car itself isn't that exciting to look at. Further at the front we can see again the aero here just from another angle, just looks outrageous. Then obviously we have the two exhaust pipe on each side of the huge side blade here of the 2-liter turbocharged V4 engine. And then yeah, finally obviously we have the massive rear wing, which is just immensely big. Let me just grab this 143 scale GT3R here for comparison, then you can actually see just how big this model actually is. Just amazing, these 112 model cars with their sides, very intimidating. Way bigger than any model I ever had so far here. But yeah, let's just change the lens and then we'll get to the details up close. First thing, you know I love wheels, and here we have exceptional looking wheels, which are so huge again due to the scale of the model and look exceptionally well made. You can even see every single teeth here of the center lock wheels. Doesn't this look just awesome? And also behind that you can see the huge brakes behind the wheels with all the screws here in there looking extremely nicely detailed, and the golden brake caliper here with the Brembo logo on it. And obviously we have some lovely Michelin logos here, which are also very big, which is the overall theme of this model, right? And then, like I told you, in the wrap stripe of the livery here on this huge model you can actually read all these names, not only through this macro lens, you could actually read them just with your naked eye. Very nicely done by Spark. And here again the livery on the front with the Porsche crest on it. And here's something where I would also criticize. There you can see it actually very nicely with the two Mobile One logos here and also with the livery itself. There the decals are just put over the panel gaps like you would do it on a 143 scale model or on a 118 scale model, but since this is here 112 scale model, it is way more noticeable, and that's something I would criticize there. They could maybe have tried a bit harder to put the decal actually inside of the panel gap. And then something else where you really notice the difference from a 112 to a 118 scale model, for example, here the carbon fiber side plate, the carbon fiber itself, the weave of it looks very nicely done. And again, just check out all that aero here in the front, the small hood
opening, I think that's for the driver to get some air, and then at the sides the huge air intakes for the downforce and for the engine, I think, and also here these little tiny ones which are actually huge on this model. This is something where I think a 112 model really gives you a better feeling than, for example, only a 143 scale model car here. Also these latches which hold the rear lid are very nicely done and a cool detail to look at. Furthermore, the exhaust looks also very great. Here we have the left one of the two. You can see the pipe getting out of the car itself here, and also the screws holding the part together. And these screws are also implemented on all the other body parts of the model. Maybe you have noticed that already. Very nicely done. Lovely. And the wing has also really nice detail. This here is actually fixed in place, while this one is an active DRS wing. So this part here is here to move this thing up or down depending on the downforce needed or the high speed needed. And here this mounting is actually really nicely done, and so is the carbon. And also another cool detail is on the outside of the side plates of the wing. Here you can actually see the 3 different mounting points of it and the way to adjust them manually, the different position of that. Very nicely done. Love it. And finally, the limitation plaque is really nice on these 112 models. It's actually made out of metal and looks very upmarket. Also the display plate itself is much thicker, as you can see here. And I think this will also be awesome for 118 scale models. And furthermore, this one has rubber stands to put the model on. And so you don't have the problem like with 118 scale plates where you're always scratching the underside. Here this one has 4 rubber stands. Just gives this furthermore a more quality feeling than on a 118 scale model car plate.
So the size of this model is quite something and intimidating, right? But to be honest, do you think that the details are so much better than on your 118 scale model car? I'm not so sure about that. And with that, let's rate this model in our scores. First up, price. This one costed new 799 euros. An unbelievable amount of money for a model car. And since they made 300 pieces, there are still many out there for sale. Usually you should get one of these in a price range between 500 and 600 euros, which is still way too much for a model car, in my opinion. But yeah, giving it a 2 out of 10. Quality is great, as you would expect at this price point, but not too different to your 118 scale model, giving it a 7 out of 10. Details are awesome, especially the aero of the 919 is amazing, and also is the livery, giving it an 8 out of 10. Rarity is high. Sure, 300 pieces is a lower number, but considering it's a 112 model, it is not getting more than an 8 out of 10. Significance is incredibly high, not only to the performance of the car and the lap times, but also establishing that hybrid power is the way to go to propel a car, giving it a 10 out of 10. Which means in total that the 919 Evolution in 112 scale is getting a 35 out of 50 and puts it here on our scoreboard. This means that only the price is holding this model back. Otherwise it would easily have reached the very top of our leaderboard. Maybe I'll get my hands on a smaller scale in the future. And if you like to see a detailed scoreboard, the link to that is down in the description below. So what do you think of huge 1 scale mods like these? Should I get more of them to do future reviews on? Let me know in the comments below. And before I'm sending you to some high resolution pictures, which especially on a huge model like this look amazing in a 4K resolution on a big screen, I would like to say thank you very much for tuning in again, watching the video until the very end. If you like to support the good scores and like to spread the passion for Porsche model cars, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, really helps me out. And if you have any questions, feel free to also contact me on Instagram at 911scales. That's it for now. Tune in next time when I explore the Porsche model car world in 911 scales. Thank you very much. Allah, ciao!